Welcome to the Game Outsider. On this week's show, we're sharing our video game hot takes, so expect all kinds of controversy. Nintendo also announced it's going to be making yet another $1 billion with 2 new titles in the Pokemon series. Also, we've been playing Resident Evil Requiem and have a lot to say about one of the biggest titles in the first quarter of 2026. Let's do this thing. This is the Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. We've also got a community at facebook.com/groups/thegocast, and even a Discord server. You can find a link for that in the show notes of this very episode. It is Monday, March 2nd. I'm your host. Is it March 2nd? Is it March 2nd?
Yes.
March 2nd. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friend, Zach Parkerson. How you doing, man?
Hello, Mr. Scott, named after Leon Scott Kennedy. It was nice of your parents to do that.
It was. It's like they knew that I was going to have this moment this week that, I was going to have that. And I was looking at playing this game, and I'm like, yeah, his name is Scott.
What a requiem to your life.
Yes. Also joining us, Jacob Gunderson. How you doing, sir?
Hello, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider. I'm not your host, Jacob Gunderson. This is Scott and the Gaming Outlets.
And the gaming outlets.
We are tiny outsiders.
Also joining us, it's been a while, Chris Berensmeyer. What's up, man?
Yeah, I still exist somewhere in the ether.
Well, welcome back. It's good to have you back. We got a lot to get to today, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. CB, you've been gone quite a bit, so what have you been catching up on?
Well, the main thing I've been playing, we'll talk about here in a few minutes, but other than that, I have now gold chipped my 4th deck for Balatro.
Okay.
And I have 1 Joker left to find.
1. I've got 2.
Have you looked in the mirror?
I am the largest Joker. So yeah, I've got 1 Joker left to find. I know how to do it. It's just going to be very situational.
What is it?
It's like the very last one.
Well, yeah.
I have it written down. Like I have a little.
You have
journal.
1 more to go. It is the last one.
I have a journal that I keep for it. It's in my little Switch. My Ally X pouch. So I wrote it down and I just haven't done it yet. But other than that, I've also been playing some more Cairn.
Yes, you haven't finished it?
No, because I've hit a very unfortunate wall in that game. I can't figure out how to get over a ledge.
You hit a wall.
Yeah, I'm very frustrated with it. I can get to the lip of this rock face and I can't seem to get over it. I have acquired many deaths in that spot.
Brutal. Is it the sheer cliff face with like a bunch of windows?
Yeah, where there's that line.
Yeah.
And then like once you're above the line, it's just like that hard climb. Yeah, I'm right there. And I keep getting to the very top of it and I can't figure it out.
I feel like that was the hardest part of the game for me.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to shoot me any tips, let me know because I would love to finish the game.
Climb.
Is it like at the very end or?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I got to tell you, speaking of your of Balatro, just come back to that for a second. I got a text from my buddy Ryan this week that he sent me a screenshot of his profile page, and he has 100% of the deck stake wins, which, holy cow, that is a lot of Balatro.
Not if you're good. Then it might just be a little Balatro.
Well, he's 4 shy of the Jokers or the collection. I don't know if that is not 4 shy of the Jokers, but 4 shy of the actual collection. I obviously can't see everything there, but and 61% of the Joker stickers. But still, 100% any of those is impressive. And I have kind of fallen off the way. I play a game here and there, but I am not really going for much anymore. So.
Oh, dude, it is the most perfect game to do in the back of an ambulance on the way somewhere.
I'll bet. Yeah, it's definitely nice in the car if you got it on the phone. Jacob, what about you, man? What have you been catching up on?
Dude, I can't put down Icarus.
Yeah?
I'm really enjoying that game. I'm kind of kidding myself that I didn't do it like 4 years ago.
Mm.
Of course,
Okay,
again, I'd still be talking about it today, probably.
Probably, yeah. Zach, you have quite a list going on here. You checked out lots of the Steam Next Fest demos.
Right.
But before that, you actually tried out the Server Slam for Marathon. I'm really curious.
Well, this will be the third time that I've played Marathon pre-release. And so probably I combined, 12-ish hours of this game, and it is just so boring. And I kept trying, hoping it would get better. But Marathon, I do not think is a good game.
I can't remember that you have to buy, or is this a free-to-play one? I can't keep them straight.
$40 game.
Say it again.
$40 game.
Okay.
Extraction shooter. I just wanted to keep giving it chances because it's Bungie, but it just doesn't. It's just not engaging.
It's not happening.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. And I like extraction shooters. I just don't think this is a good one of those.
I feel bad because during the Sony, I think it was the State of Play, there was a teaser for it, and I was like, man, what is this game? This game looks awesome. And then it was like Marathon. I'm like, no.
Yeah, it's just I don't know, like it's just a little dull. I mean, for Bungie shooting, it feels somewhat dull, and then their kind of gunplay makes for really exciting shootouts, but because it's the extraction genre, you're getting in like one shootout a match generally with other players.
Yeah,
if that's, so just I don't know, it just doesn't work for me, the combination.
Yeah.
Well, they sure want us to try it out, though. I get an email a week offering us early access to this game. So
I mean, they are desperate for this. They need this game to work, right?
I mean, I feel like it's a desperation, maybe not because of the quality. I'm hoping that it's not because I think the quality is poor, but because of how people are reacting to other games like this recently. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we gotta get ahead of this kind of situation. But
and the fact that nobody plays Destiny 2 anymore,
right?
That's not good for Bungie.
Yeah,
hard times. And then I finished Trails in the Sky first chapter.
Nice.
Beat this. Obviously, I beat it a few years ago on PSP. It was really exciting to see the finale in like full 3D, beautiful graphics. It's a very exciting cliffhanger, and it just it sold itself a lot more with all the pomp and circumstance of a modern game can provide.
Very cool.
And then let's get some rapid fire Steam Next Fest demos. I played Altered Alma. This is a 2D gear gated action game, but I only played it because Anthony Johnson is working on it. And it was it's a strong one of those. And it's also surprisingly horny.
Yeah, I saw the trailer after you told me that, and I was like, was not expecting that from that game at all.
Yeah, because it is that style of action game with the puzzles and difficult platforming. Really, it kind of feels like a Mega Man Zero to me in like how the character controls.
Oh, okay.
But then there are also these dating sim elements where you get to see some saucy scenes if things go right, also sprinkled in there.
On a scale of 1 to Baldur's Gate 3, how horny are we talking?
Boy, it's hard to top Baldur's Gate 3. Not nearly the nudity.
See, it's funny you say that, Jacob, because I've avoided that like the plague on both runs of Baldur's Gate 3. I have not had any romantic things. Anytime a character flirts with me, I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, but it's a simple fact that the character is flirting with you. Like I just felt like within the first 20 minutes of the game, like everyone was just throwing themselves at you.
Go watch the trailer for Altered Alma. It's a completely different kind of horny.
It is. It's in the middle ground between a Hades and a Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure.
Yeah. Sitting in there. I also play Wild Blue Skies. This is 100% a Star Fox 64 knockoff with cute cel-shaded graphics, but it's replete with barrel rolls and animal companions, and it's really good. Can't wait to play the full game.
Awesome.
Complete with barrel rolls.
You need barrel rolls.
Do a barrel roll.
And it's even got like that thing where like you see a comrade about to get shot down, you have to like shoot the enemy off of them.
Thanks, Fox.
Yeah,
that was too close.
Thanks, dog guy. I forget the main character's name already. Thanks,
Peppy?
Wild Blue Dog.
Oh. Oh, great. I've been saved by Fox.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that stuff.
Falco was my favorite character. I love him.
He's great, man. A grumpy little guy.
He's just angry for no reason.
Because he needs to be the hot shot. I also play Far Far West. This is a co-op shooter where you play as robots in a fantasy Wild West. Like you have tarot cards that let you do spells in addition to being a robot guy. You can buy little different robot suits. The structure of the game, I haven't played too much like this. I guess it has like extraction elements, but it's entirely co-op. You just go in and like do little missions to unlock the boss, and then you murder the boss, and you get to bring all that loot back, and then use it to get upgrades and new weapons and stuff.
Nice.
So so it's like extraction light, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just you and 3 buddies just broing out. I also played Morning Tide. It's a creepy fishing game where you're just fishing on a boat, and then all of a sudden a noose comes out of the ocean and tries to hang your boat.
A noose?
Yeah, like a noose. Okay. Tries to kill your boat. You got to just saw it off. Your guy acts like that's just normal. So kind of an unsettling, weird game. I picked up a sunfish. That's a big flat fish, right? A sunfish.
Yeah.
And then when I went to hang it up on the hook, it's got a human face on the underside.
Whoa.
No.
So
that's not a sunfish.
Sunfish is just like a brim or a panfish, right?
No.
Wait, I don't know.
You're thinking a bluegill. A sunfish is, depending on if it's a saltwater, is like the large one with the huge fin coming out of the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. It's a fish. That's all I know.
But what you're saying
flounder,
sounds like a flounder or a skate.
Yeah.
Skate. Let's say skate.
Welcome to Fish Talk.
I guess.
Oh.
Anyway, it was cool.
It's that kind of horny. My bad. Sorry.
It doesn't bring that fish over here.
Whoa.
Wow. Sorry.
But yeah, Dredge opened the doors to creepy fishing games, so I'm into that.
Gotcha.
Perhaps the best demo I played was Vampire Crawlers.
I'm really intrigued to hear about this one.
It's a deck building, using all of the all the world of Vampire Survivors, but in a first-person dungeon crawler where you build your own deck of cards to murder people, but it's extremely fast-paced.
So
kinda, yeah. Especially when they're like those little like monsters you can kill for gold.
Mm-hmm.
In Vampire Survivors, you can, when you meet one of those in this game, you just have to mash A as fast as you can to kill it by throwing your cards directly at it.
That's
Gambit
awesome.
Style.
I just love that it still got like the whole thing that made Vampire Survivors so attractive was like that slot machine, awesome stuff happening all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're leveling up very fast in this dungeon crawler. Whenever you level up, you get to add a new card to your deck, and all the decks have different mana values for what you can use during your turn. But if you do them in ascending order, you get multipliers and they do more damage. So you're trying to utilize your hands, and the hands are only 3 cards big, so it's very easy to just place them in order and keep going. And yeah, so it's just they took the dungeon crawling, which is usually slow paced, and a deck builder, which is usually slower paced, and then decided to give them that Vampire Survivors twist of constant feedback of making you feel great. It's pretty cool.
Dopamine hits.
Lots of dopamine hits, and you play as all your favorite characters for Vampire Survivor, except this time they have voices.
Whoa.
Which is a little surprising, but my girl Pascalina was there. Yeah, it was just, dude, it's fun, and you can like get gems that you use to increase your cards, and they can do secondary effects, and it's all run based, and dude, it's so addictive.
I believe the phrase you used when you texted me was that this game is going to be a problem.
I think, yeah, I deleted the demo because I was like, well, I want to put 7 hours into this demo, but I would like to just play the game later.
Right. Yeah. You're
so,
sold that quickly enough into the demo that you just
dude, it's absolutely, and especially if they do the Vampire Survivors thing of charging like $5 for this.
Yeah, they won't.
Why not? They're infinitely rich off of a $5 game.
That's true. They keep adding to it though too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they never stop.
Yeah.
It also played People of Note. This is a very much inspired by Final Fantasy IX JRPG style game in a music world. Think Brutal Legend, where everything is musically themed. And you play like the main character is a pop star, and she's getting a classic rocker to join her crew, and then you can do these attacks where you like merge their musical styles together for extra damage, or every turn it has like battle music, like any JRPG, except it'll change the genre depending on the turn. And then that character gets basically like added damage, or their spells do more basically that turn. So you're playing to the music, and then your attacks all have to do little rhythm mini games to do extra damage, like kind of Mario RPG style.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a really fun presentation, and even has like the the old school PS1 like fixed camera angles that kind of move with you. Really cool style.
Nice, man.
And then last I played Minos, which is a game where you design a labyrinth, you set up traps. You're playing as Daedalus, speaking of Icarus, and the Minotaur, and you're killing adventurers who come into the labyrinth. You get to set up traps, and you get to move the walls to try to funnel them down certain paths to either walk into spike traps or fire pits or whatever. And then they somehow get past your defenses. You can just go smash them in the head with an axe of a Minotaur. And it
sounds like a blast.
It was a total blast. You're just watching these, you're the bad guy. You're just watching good people die in bloody and terrible ways, or just fun ways to mess with them. Like, there's one door you can set up where every time it'll like change between locked and unlocked, so you can separate the group, but then they get a little bit scared. It's just fun. I guess you're kind of torturing ants in a way, but it was a great deal. It was a great deal of fun. It really surprised me.
So you're telling me it's a new version of Sims?
Yes, yeah. If you miss the massive, miss being a dark god in The Sims. This is a good way to fulfill that urge.
There's another game like this. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but
yeah, I don't think it's I think like the Deception series, I think, is like this, but it was a great deal of fun. And I kind of like being you play as Daedalus to set up the traps, and then you play as the Minotaur to smash adventurers in the head. It's good stuff. It's good dichotomy.
Sounds good, man. I'm glad you dove into those demos because I did not play as many as I would have liked to. I got so many emails about lots and lots of cool games, and I just did not take the time to download them. So thank you for doing that. You've definitely sold me on the Vampire Crawlers. I'm not even going to download the demo. I'm just going to get it when it comes out because that sounds awesome.
It's hard to put down.
Looking forward to it. All right. Well, let's go ahead now and jump into the week's news. All right, some new trailers that dropped this past week. We got Pokemon Waves and Winds coming out sometime in 2027. Also, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is coming to Nintendo Switch Online for the if you're a subscriber over on the GameCube section. And then this Game Boy jukebox, it's a little teeny tiny Game Boy with teeny tiny cartridges that each one plays one song in its original 8-bit or 8-bit. I don't even know how many bits the Game Boy was.
I think it was 8, right?
Was it 8?
Because Pokemon was originally grayscale, black and white or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's considered 4.
4-bit, okay.
Anyway.
It's like 4 or 6-bit. It's not 8-bit.
Saw that was announced. Also, publisher Nacon files for insolvency. New York is suing Valve, and the Bloodborne fans have been blaming the wrong company. I can't wait to talk about that. But CB, you've been gone. Why don't you pick which story you want to talk about first?
Oh well, since I've already been following another story involving them, let's talk about New York,
right?
And the fact that their AG Letitia James is deciding to sue Valve over loot boxes.
Letitia Jones, but you're close.
No, it's Letitia James.
Well, I don't know. I'm probably, maybe I had dyslexia.
It's Letitia James because I'm following her over the Buffalo public school system.
I believe you. I'm sorry. I apologize. I wrote it down wrong. That's on me.
Oh, that's fine. So they're suing Valve over loot boxes involving Counter-Strike 2, Team Fortress 2, and Dota 2 mostly. And I believe the exact quote here is that the lawsuit alleges that the items found in loot boxes are worth only pennies, far less than what players are spent to open the loot boxes. So
let's play.
I will agree to a point that loot boxes are a form of gambling if you spend money for the loot boxes. I remember playing Counter-Strike back in the day and Zombies back in the day, and you didn't have to pay for the loot boxes. Now, some of the loot boxes you have to pay for. They're really hammering this because of younger people, and they're like claiming that this is encouraging gambling in youths, even though the majority of Valve's output is rated M for mature. So unfortunately for me, like I know that they had a similar case in 2019, which involved Fortnite. I think some of this actually falls on the parents for not monitoring what their kids are doing.
I was going to say, like, of course, we all know that no kids play mature-rated games, right?
I know.
But that's not Valve's fault.
I almost like just want to be like Letitia James, the AG, just really doesn't care about kids because like the other big lawsuit that she's being involved with right now is the Buffalo Public School District stuff that's going on with there was a potential kidnapping that they tried to hide.
Oh, I remember you telling me about this.
Yeah, so this is the AG that I was telling you about. Wait,
so she's suing because of that, or she's defending that? Like, I'm not.
So
which side is she on?
She was originally trying to prosecute the alleged kidnapping. However, the report just came out, I believe, like a week ago, and it's basically just like, we're going to sweep this under the rug. Other than the one guy going to prison for the alleged kidnapping, we're not going to change anything else.
Okay,
like how to make the schools safer or stuff like that.
So to your point,
it feels a little too serious to be talking about on the Gaming Outsider. Let's get back to knife skins.
Yeah. But yeah, if I was Valve, I'd be like, where are the parents in all this?
Well, I mean, according to the article, a similar case was brought against Fortnite back in 2019, a case they lost and had to remove loot boxes as well as pay out a class action settlement. So what's going to be the difference in this case?
Wouldn't the big difference be that Fortnite is targeting kids?
Specifically, and it's not mature rated.
Right.
I mean, for us, yes, we look at a game like Fortnite being targeted as kids and these other games targeted as adults, whereas people that are in politics look at all games as being targeted towards kids.
I get that, but also they're talking about the lawsuit has a particular focus on children and young people, where again, these games have clearly stamped right on the front before you can download. This is a mature title, age 17 and over. Parents, like here's the problem. Like, the parents are openly allowing their children to purchase these things. And then like, hey, my kid's spending hundreds of dollars on these loot boxes. Where are the parents in all this?
Why do they have a credit card?
But where are the parents in all this?
Well, I mean, parents credit card. That's what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying is like, how are they getting hold of a credit? Why are you giving a kid a credit card, or why do they have access to a credit card?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a son who used to play Fortnite and bought a lot of loot boxes. I noticed charges hitting my credit card, delete it off. Congrats. Now you want Xbox Live, you got to pay for it yourself.
Right.
And that just solved the problem. Because
well, here's that's why thing. I'm like online gambling, you have to be an adult, right? Like you can actually pay for like to play poker and stuff online, or you can do sports betting online, right? Why is it so easy to police that? But when it comes to loot boxes, I mean, I guess it comes down to, you know, is it gambling or not? That's the big question. Is like, is it considered gambling when you give money to something? You know what? We actually have, this is our hot take episode, right?
Yeah.
We have a comment. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here.
Whoa!
No, you jumped the gun because this is relevant.
This is relevant. Do you have the comment handy, or should I pull it up?
I was literally scrolling down as you were saying it, and unfortunately, my reading skills are a little slower. So if you have it
here, I will check it for you. It is from Streets A Jed, who's going to be a guest on our podcast in the next couple of weeks. He says this is his hot take. Again, we usually read these for the from the outside in topic, but since this is relevant, I'm going to read it now. He says, loot boxes aren't gambling. Gambling is defined as a game of chance where there is no guarantee of return for your wager. You bet on the ponies or a poker table, you may walk away with winnings and you may walk away with an empty wallet. With a loot box, you are guaranteed a return. There is no such thing as an empty loot box. You may not like what you get, sure, but you did get something in exchange for your payment. A loot box is no different in form or function than a pack of Pokemon or MTG cards, Magic the Gathering cards. That does not mean they aren't predatory as all hell in a variety of ways, but comparing it to gambling is categorically and demonstrably false, unquote. What do you think about that?
Oh man, we're gonna fight.
So I agree with it to a point, because with Pokemon and Magic the Gathering cards, you are receiving a physical product that you can hold.
Mm-hmm.
Loot boxes, I can't hold nothing.
Well, you also can't buy a DLC that you buy. You can't hold a digital copy of a game that you buy.
I know this is where the law on this kind of gets gray.
Mm-hmm.
Are they predatory? Absolutely. Because here's the thing, like, you can buy multiple loot boxes, wind up getting the same item over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of this still boils down to the fact that if parents are willing to hand over their credit card,
it's on them.
Absolutely.
I mean, would you fault the company? Back to the same comparison I made a minute ago. Would you fault the online gambling, online poker, online sports betting thing if your kid got a hold of your credit card and started making bets, making a parlay?
I mean, if he's winning, good for him.
But if he's not, are you going to blame?
No, it's my fault because I allowed him to do it.
So why, here? But again, it comes down to whether or not you, Jake. I want to hear your thoughts because you said you were going to fight. I'm curious what you were going to say.
So the whole thing about like the children buying loot boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I've had friends that are irresponsible with their money and have spent upwards of thousands of dollars on loot boxes trying to get guns or whatever. But particularly with the comment, I would probably agree with the statement over why they're suing is because in most cases, you're like Borderlands, you're spending money for loot boxes to get a gun in game that is either going to be easily replaced or is not going to be worth as much in maybe a level or two or something.
Are you talking about those keys that you can get to open up the chests like in the main hub or whatever?
So years ago, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, there was a case
keys.
like this in there was a case like this in California, and I don't remember what game they were suing over, but their fix for it was you're not buying the loot box anymore. You're going to be buying a key to open the loot box. That way you are guaranteeing that what you're spending your money on is what you're getting. So instead of buying the loot box instead of buying the loot box and having a random chance at random stuff,
that
you are
just
buying
sounds like a scummy lawyer loophole.
Well, it is, and that was the way that they fixed it so that it wasn't gambling because you are guaranteed a prize, but you are not guaranteed the prize that you want.
You're essentially
every time you buy a loot box, it is a gamble for getting something that you want or something that you don't care about. And that's where the gambling comes in.
You know those little machines that, like in front of Walmart back when we were kids where you put a quarter in?
Those are gambling.
Twist the knob and it's got like a little those bubble thing and you crack it open and you get a prize. Is that gambling?
They still exist.
Do they?
So
yeah, there's one outside the Myers just up the street here.
So Scott, I don't know if you know this or not, but did you know pinball machines way back in the day used to be considered gambling?
They did. That's why they were outlawed for a long time because they said it was, that's
they
why
they didn't used to have the flippers, and so it was a game of chance and not a game of skill.
Pachinko,
yeah, and so they were outlawed in arcades because it was gambling rather than actual skill. Mm-hmm. And so when you have anything that basically is a game of chance versus anything, it should be considered gambling. Mm-hmm. But that's why these companies have changed over to go, okay, now we're gonna guarantee you a key to open the loot box because now you're not gambling because you're guaranteed the key, but the key doesn't guarantee you the item that you want.
This goes down like a further rabbit hole too, because like the way they're trying to explain this, like, oh well, it's a predatory practice, you're not guaranteed something, it's a game of chance, you're gambling. That means claw machines are straight up gambling.
Yes.
But claw machines are like in every Walmart, man. And kids, I've seen kids throw dollars into those.
Dude, we have a Tilted 10 here in town. That entire second floor is nothing but ticket games.
Yeah. But because it's not left up to a random chance, because there is some skill
some element of skill.
Some element of skill of how the claw drops, or when you time the arm to swing out to push the tickets, or whatever. That's what makes it not gambling, is because there is a chance that your skill is better. Yes, it's hard, but because there is a chance that your skill will be better than the claw letting go or any of that kind of stuff. That's what makes it not gambling.
I'm
hard.
Fight you tooth and nail on those, because some of the newer ones have been openly proven that they are not games of skill because of the microchip sensors in them. You can literally stop it and watch it go after you let off the button because it's not ready to pay out yet.
Well, I mean, that's the same thing with like gambling machines. They're meant to hit at a certain spot at a certain time, after so many spins. So whatever. But I mean, even going back to, let's go even further back, non-electronics. You go to the fair, you have a ring toss game.
I was going to say that. You're guaranteed a prize.
Or the prize, basketball games.
Yeah.
No, to his point, those games were, there's a lot of those carnival games. It says like on there, every play wins. You're guaranteed a prize. You get if you miss, you still get the dinky little prize.
Here's a sticker, kid.
Yeah, right. You're guaranteed something.
But right there, like that's almost the exact same. Like the loot box, you're still getting something.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to this. I would say probably 80% of the games that you're gonna play with loot boxes in them are going to give you junk. There is nothing of value in those. Blah blah whatever. But when you start bringing in like games like CS:GO, like, does anyone want to take a crack at how large a sum the most rare knife just sold for?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, isn't it like tens of thousands of dollars?
Wait, what?
You want to go up?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like I knew it was a ridiculous number for what it was. Is it 6-figure plus?
So we have the Karambit Blue Gem Knife. Design. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. The Karambit Blue Gem Knife, design 387. It's one of the most rarest knives in the game. Just sold for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
What game is this?
CS:GO.
Yeah, CS:GO.
I
You just broke Scott's brain.
This is a hot take. I'm giving you a hot take. This kind of crap is ruining gaming. Like this is, it makes me angry. I'm on the side that this is gambling.
I'm so mad at you right now.
Why?
So,
because your hot take may have been my actual hot take. I'm so mad at you right now.
It is though. I mean, it's. I mean, I hate to sound like the old guy like I do every week, but back in my day, games were fun just because they were fun, not because some company was trying to squeeze every freaking dime out of us.
But it's not that the company is trying to squeeze the money out of you. It is just a chance to get the item that is being sold for this much, but it is the players that are making these items worth the amount of money that they are.
Yeah, because Counter-Strike, you can open the loot box and then sell, because it essentially just gives you like a code that you can trade out.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Zach, you haven't said anything in a while. I'm really curious about your thoughts.
I mean, I feel like most everything has been said.
Okay.
I do think. I think even I feel like maybe I'm more extreme, because I do think things like Pokemon cards they're so close to gambling, right? That it's like the letter of the law might not say they're gambling, but the spirit would say that they are gambling.
I think I would agree with you on that, because you're not guaranteed what cards are in there.
Or like in loot boxes, especially, like, oh great, a wall spray, great. I would have rather just thrown my money down the sewer drain.
In the current state of like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon, I will absolutely agree that they are so predatory. Serialized, ultra rares, special illustrator rares. I mean, back when I played, it was, you knew that there was X number of cards in the set, and that was it. And then they're like, now we're going to introduce foiled versions. And now we're going to introduce ultra rares. And I was like, all right, I'm done with this game. And then I sold all my Magic the Gathering stuff.
Let's go one step further. CB, you were talking about like the game is cheating, like with the sensors and whatever, so they don't go down there. I think it was Call of Duty Cold War, World War. I don't remember. Whichever one of them had a social value. One of them had a thing in the background that said like, hey, you're spending this much time socializing, and your loot box drops were based off of that number. So if you just started up the game and you were like, well, I'm going to buy a bunch of loot boxes, they were all going to be crap. But if you spent 100 hours in game and then like actually, because they had a weird lobby. I think like 20 people could sit in this lobby, and it was like a bunker. And you could just
Cold War.
Yeah, but either way, you could actually socialize with other gamers before you actually went into the game.
But here's the thing, Jacob.
But it graded you. It graded you on it, and then because of that social interaction, after however many times of getting this number up, then your loot boxes are going to be good.
Right, but here's the thing, Jacob. I agree with you that if that exists, that kind of sucks. But here's the thing: even if people knew that existed, they would still buy them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's not going to stop them. You can work the system in your favor, but because people don't have the patience to do it, they're still going to buy it. So it still feels predatory to me.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't predatory. It absolutely is predatory. Yeah. But it's just there's these things that the gaming industry has done to make sure that they're on the right side of the law, but still after you.
Right. I mean, speaking to this law specifically, I do think it's nonsense because they won't shut up about kids, and they have no business being in the Ember games.
Right.
I think parental responsibility is an undervalued commodity in the modern world.
Yes. And we've talked about that a lot in the past.
Well, that's one of my biggest things with this is like they keep saying our focus is the kids, our focus is the kids. Then why aren't you focusing on the fact that the parents are allowing the kids to buy the mature rated games?
Right. It's everyone else's responsibility to parent their kids.
Parental advisory.
Yep. Let's go on. Let's before I get more angry and get on the soapbox. Jake, what story you want to talk about?
Oh my goodness. I think CB took the ones that I was talking about. So we'll talk about the Bloodborne one.
All right.
So Bloodborne fans have been blaming the wrong company. The request to have Bloodborne remake got the okay from Sony, but FromSoft shut it down.
Shuhei Yoshida.
Sure. That word. Thank you, guys. Former president executive for many years went on to record in early 2025 saying that Bloodborne remake would never happen because Hidetaka Miyazaki, director from at FromSoft, doesn't want anyone else to touch it. So we're all still going to want it, but it's not going to happen because it's like his baby. And he doesn't want anyone else ruining it. So, okay. I mean, make a Bloodborne adjacent. Get the same feel, get the same atmosphere, get all of that stuff going. Just name it like.
This comes on the heels
Human Fluids Born
of what's that studio called? Blue Point? Is that right?
Blue Point, RIP.
Got shut down, and everyone's up in arms. Well, what about this Bloodborne remake? Well, turns out they had been trying and wanted to do it, but were shut down, and everyone assumed it was Sony. Well, not everybody, as I'm sure Zach will let us know here shortly. But a lot of people assumed it was Sony being the bad guys, but as it turns out, the original director didn't want anybody else to touch the game but him, which I get. I kind of respect that. Like that's his baby. It's his art. He should have a say in that.
He has gone on record many times saying that is his favorite project.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, what Scott was alluding to with me was I've been annoying on YouTube and Reddit for years trying to correct people that this is not a Sony decision because Sony loves money. And at every state of play, every comment, like the number one comment people are doing is Bloodborne remake when? It's like they would happily take the money if they could. So my theory has always been like there must be some kind of contract obligation where like a remaster or remake has to get approved by FromSoft. I don't know if that's the case or not, or if they just want to keep one of the top developers in the industry happy. If that's why. But for me, truly, this was mystifying that it was making the news rounds because that's why I cited this Shuhei Yoshida interview from last year. Mm-hmm. Because a top PlayStation executive said last year this was exactly why this wasn't happening.
Right.
So it's weird that it's news now, but whatever.
I could see it could be a creative control issue. Like he's like, I don't want to make it because I'm worried that Sony's going to tell me I have to do this, and I don't want to do that.
Well, he wouldn't be the one making it. You understand that, right? Like,
yeah.
Or
this would have been a third party remaking the game, much like they did the Uncharted games or the Shadow of the Colossus or Demon Souls. Yeah.
My conjecture has always been. Sorry, CB, go ahead.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then it could be he doesn't want to see his original creative vision changed from.
That's what we're saying.
Wanted.
He doesn't want anybody else touching it, and he's not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say that he's not going to do it, but he doesn't need to. Like, even though it's not. I don't know. Is it a perfect game, Zach?
Close to
it. So
I mean, you can't make it better. The thing people would say you need to make better is the frame rate, but those people are whiners.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, it's perfect. It cannot be improved upon. That is true.
I want to go back to what you said earlier, though, how you said that Sony loves money.
Yeah.
So, of course, they would have greenlit this. Then why did they shut down Bluepoint? Because I feel like that's just like sure, you couldn't make Bloodborne happen, but there's so many properties. Go do Siphon Filter.
Right.
I mean, think of all the PlayStation or Sony properties that they could have done. There's so many.
Well, we don't know what the talent loss was when they pivoted to live action God of War, right? They could have lost all the key remake people during that time.
True. That's true.
And then it's going to be hard to pivot back to the remake studio if you lost all the good remake people.
Right. I'm going to parrot something I heard on a podcast today, which I thought was a really interesting take in terms of why Sony should have kept this team. Outside of the idea, what you just said, that it may not be the same people, but I think I've heard you say on this very show that the Demon Souls remake is the best game that you've ever seen visually.
The best, looking game, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Best looking game you've ever seen, which kind of sold people on the PS5, right? Or the PS5 Pro, maybe. I don't know. It was a good way to sell that because nothing else looked that good, but it was a remake. You can take a game that already exists and you can spend the time and energy and resources to make that game that exists and is already good look fantastic. Keep that studio and have them do that for the next generation of consoles. Now I know people that hate the remakes are gonna yell at me and say, well, just the time and energy needs to be focused on new IPs and new games and that kind of thing. And I understand that, but some people like to go back and play these games again. I'm one of them.
I'll say the market would tell you that those people are a minority.
Right. I mean, I can't tell you how many remakes that I've been like, can't wait to get my hands on that.
I want to know who's doing these market analysis saying that oh, these people are in the minority because as you say, one of the top comments and everyone, hey, Bloodborne remake when? Or give us a Metal Gear Solid remaster, ground up, completely redo anything. I've constantly seen things like Legend of Dragoon remake or Vagrant Story remake or as Scott said, Siphon Filter. Oh my God, I would love a complete overhaul, ground up rebuild of that game.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they keep saying that we're in the minority. It's because they just don't want to deal with the licensing issues.
I mean, if it makes money, it's worth it. Right? I mean, that's how business works. I don't know. I just want to make sure I give proper credit.
That's a gamble.
Well, careful. You'll get sued for those.
I want to make sure I give proper credit. This was the person who I heard say that about, just keep them on and have them showcase the next platforms was Timur Hussein. He was over on Jeff Kanata's DLC podcast. I didn't want to take credit for his idea, so I thought it made sense. So,
if I may briefly, my conjecture had always been that I assume that there is something in the Bloodborne contract because of how much they screwed over From Software on Demon Souls by not even thinking it was worth porting over to America. Right? Famously, Atlas had to bring that over. That I assume that part of From Software making Bloodborne was yeah, look, you guys get this Bloodborne IP, but this game is mine, and I will decide what happens with it.
Right.
That's always been my theory.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because that seems, if I were a movie director, I feel like that would be an easy move, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
All right, Zach, what story would you like to mention?
Well, I guess last but not least is Nacon filing for insolvency. I guess a somewhat, hopefully a minor story. They hopefully gets resolved. But they're a major AA publisher. They are responsible for recent hits like RoboCop, Hell Is Us, and Test Drive Unlimited. They're filing for insolvency after its majority shareholder, Big Ben Interactive, failed to make a loan repayment. And they just released Six Blades of Greed, and Greedfall 2 is right around the corners, and they were supposed to have a Nacon, big press show showing off a bunch of their new games, but they delayed that, understandably.
Right.
And I think that this story sucks for two reasons to me. One, gotta love a AA publisher. That's a risky area to be in, and those are cool games. And then secondly, it is sad to think that a AA publisher is in such danger that one missed loan repayment puts you in, we're going to go out of business mode.
Right. Just the state of games right now is just insane to me. Like, with this, as much money as it's making, and there's this constant threat for, I never would have even guessed that Nacon was that close. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, they're making interesting games, like, RoboCop, an old 80s property. Why not? Six Blades of Greed. Here's a single player stealth game in the year of our Lord 2026.
Where you play like a goblin, don't you, or something in that game?
Yeah. You can like clone himself or something.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So
just a bummer story. Not much for us to say. Just hope it gets figured out.
Absolutely. There is one story I wanted to mention quickly that I forgot to put on here, but they announced this past week, I believe it was at the IGN Next Fest, that we're getting a new plastic instrument game. Did you guys see this story?
Yeah.
There is a story of it on our website that Mark Szymanski put together for us. Red Octane Games. Yes, Red Octane. Granted, probably not a whole lot of the same people, but at least they got the name. Is releasing Stage Tour sometime this fall, 2026. And yes, they're bringing back plastic instruments. They did not give a whole lot of information. It's something, there's going to be a new guitar. And I think they talked about some of the old pieces of hardware would still be able to work, but it was kind of fuzzy. But, I don't care. I'm just all excited to be able to get back in that world again.
I just love the picture of the one guitarist that they have shown. Looks exactly like a Rock Band 3 guitarist.
Dude, that's the thing is, like, I was like, the visuals don't look like they've improved a whole lot, which I don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Who cares?
It's just the guts of the game. That's all I want.
Well, it's the music. Like, that's going to be the key thing, because, that was, I feel like, what was the downfall of that was starting to charge, money for individual tracks and things like that. Like, give me a $40 game that I can blast through in 6 hours. You know what I mean?
How much is $40 plus a controller?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I get a controller and then I'll get the next one, if it keeps happening. But hey, that's a gamble, right?
Well, I think that was the problem with like Guitar Hero Live was the licensing nightmare for that, where they just kept trying to add more and more. And I'm like, dude, the licensing on this alone has to be shocking.
That's what I mean. But like, you just do it in small chunks. You know what I mean? Like, where if you've got it on the disc, you're good. You know what I mean? But the people that's where it's going to be rough if you buy it digitally, because it can just be canceled if the license runs out, right?
I'm just amazed. Like, pull Guitar Hero 3, like do a remake of Guitar Hero 3, and then just do DLC packs. Like, that game could have lasted forever with just DLC packs.
I feel like the licensing on remaking what was once a hit would probably be more expensive than doing it for a new game. Because the bands are going to know the name.
Right.
They're going to figure it out real quick. Stage Tour, Red Octane.
They're pretty slow, some of these companies. But yeah, I think it's nice to see some, maybe there'll be some gaming hardware people can afford, since no one's going to be able to afford consoles here shortly with the RAM prices.
Well, and plus the thing that cracks me up is Clone Hero exists, guys. Now, granted, that's PC only, and it's not, it doesn't run perfectly, right? And
no,
I guess it's kind of a gray area as to the legality of that, because people just upload songs to that and make the note highways themselves. Is that how that works?
I don't know. If I
remember correctly, yes, because it's kind of how Audio Shield on the Oculus works. Where it's like, oh, you can just pick a song on YouTube and we'll use that.
I just don't know how that works from a licensing standpoint, because you'd be hard pressed to find a song that's not available on Clone Hero. Aaron Hughes says that Clone Hero does run incredibly well. I have played it once or twice. He brought it to R2V2 for us to try out. I think it worked great. I've heard people say that it's not as, like, the UI is not as user friendly as some of the older games where you just plug in and you just go. I haven't messed around with it. He set it up for when I played, just handed me a guitar and said, play this song. So I don't know. I'm just happy that we're in a world where plastic instruments could make a comeback. I don't foresee it taking off like it did in the early 2000s, but I'm glad to see them give it a shot. So
if it does, I want full on Rock Band again.
Do you? We did that.
Drums, bass, guitar, and mic.
Yeah,
people are too afraid to hang out in person anymore. You can never get a band together.
That is true. Yeah. All right. Well, that is the week's news. It is time to get into the new games that we've been playing. Let's go there right now. All right, Zach, what can people check out this week for purchase?
Starting on March 6th, adventure game Lost and Found Company comes to PC. The action puzzler set in a Middle Eastern desert, Mirage 7, comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. Sumerian 6 is a real-time tactical stealth game, like a Desperados 3, but set in World War II, and your characters have powers. I think one of them is a werewolf, if I'm remembering correctly. Coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles. The Bear and the Last Flame comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. Jumping all the way over to March 10th, sees the release of Ghosts of Yotai Legends. That is the multiplayer mode as it arrives on PS5. Ranger's Path, National Park Simulators on this list, just so Jacob could watch the trailer for it. Comes to PC. FPS Galactic Vault comes to PC the same day. March 11th sees The Liar and the Blind Prince comes to PC. And then March 12th is a huge day with John Carpenter's Toxic Commando coming to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PC. Greedfall 2, The Dying World comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, PC. Fatal Frame 2, Crimson Butterfly Remake comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch 2, and PC. Solasta 2 enters early access on PC. 1348 Ex Voto is a medieval action game, comes to PS5 and PC. Our yearly WWE 2K26 comes out to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch 2, and PC. R-Type Tactics 1 and 2 Cosmos, little shoot-em-ups coming to every console under the sun and PC. Road Out comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Switch, and PC. A little 2D action game. Rel Warped Worlds and Troubled Times is an interesting-looking cel-shaded game coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, and PC. And then finally, Timberborn, where you play as a community of beavers building a world after humans have died out, comes to PC on that day. Jacob, what game is jumping out to you on this list?
John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. That looks hell a lot of fun.
CB, is that going to be the same for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Plus a little R-Type.
Yeah. Who can't go for a little R-Type?
There's something so nostalgic about that giant thing floating in front of these ships in R-Type. Like the little, I don't know what you call that thing that like spins around.
The orb.
That little thing.
That orb.
But yeah, Toxic Commando all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Is that multiplayer? Is that multiplayer?
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have to get on that. I'm going to go with Road Out. I think Road Out looks a lot of fun. Very retro style, pixelated, but it's got a combination of over-the-top driving and then over-the-top, twin stick shooter kind of stuff. I think it looks super slick and fun. Lots of upgraded stuff. I'm down for Road Out. How about you, Zach?
A couple interesting games on this list, but I think I'm most interested in Greedfall 2, but can I play it without playing the first Greedfall? Will my brain allow me to do that? Who could say?
Man, the Greedfall, didn't that come out like 10 years ago? I
want to say, yeah. Long time.
Been a long time since
But this one's turn-based. Riding the wave, riding that Baldur's Gate 3 wave of hype and energy on turn-based games.
There you go.
So one of the things I want to talk about is Timberborn, actually, because I think this is an alpha release. Like it's like an actual, like the 1.0 release. The game's been out for like playable for a few years, I think. And so to see it up there, I'm like, well, why? Like it's already technically released. But speaking of big releases coming out, all three of you have been playing Resident Evil Requiem.
Why haven't you been playing is what we want to know.
Not a huge fan of Resident Evil.
I spent a lot of time with Jacob this weekend. He's pretty much heard everything that happens in the game, so he's.
I feel like that's a hot take of itself. Like not being a huge fan of Resident Evil. Like I stopped caring about Resident Evil when it wasn't about zombies anymore.
Dude, well, thrilled about Requiem. There's a ton of zombies, dude.
It's funny you say that, Jacob, because Paul Hine over on our Discord server said his hot take is that it will be met with horror and disgust by large swaths of the gaming community. He's never played any Resident Evil game. He's never felt compelled to, nor have they seemed interesting enough to try. So that,
Paul, I love you, but I'm ashamed to know you.
Wow.
Wow. That was harsh. I did not read Paul Hine's comment before I said that, so I'm glad we got to cross another one off our list.
Same with you, Jake. I'm sorry, but
we allow no Leon Kennedy slander in this house. All right.
Excuse me, it's Leon Scott Kennedy.
Yeah, you bet your bottom butt.
If I can just say go kick rocks real quick. I want to throw that out there. So, all right. Well, tell me.
Sounds like a one-liner Leon would say after crushing a man with a boulder.
I was just going to say that. Oh, my goodness. We have another. David Newman says that he also has never played a Resident Evil.
The non-Resident Evil fans are coming out in droves.
As a doctor, I'm ashamed of you.
Here's the thing. I was going to feel bad saying that I've never played Code Veronica. Like, I was going to feel kind of guilty for saying that, but we got people that have never played any Resident Evil. So that's just how, like you said earlier, you could like accidentally played one.
oh yeah, with the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys last week, yeah.
Yes, anyway, Resident Evil Requiem. Are we going to actually talk about it, or
yeah, let's do it because I am loving this game, guys. I have
mushrooms everywhere.
No, that was the last Resident Evil.
That was Resident Evil 7,
I'm hoping I want more.
And 8.
Yeah, the Great Mushroom Saga, the Resident Evil 7 to 8 run.
So anyway, Resident Evil 9. I've been looking forward to this game, but I was not expecting to like this game as much as I have.
This game.
This game comes out the gate swinging. Feel free to cut in anytime, guys. I don't want to monopolize the conversation, but the going back and forth between Grace and Leon Scott Kennedy, I just got to say it, that's full name now, is great. The game recommends you to play in first person as Grace and third person as Leon, and the switch back and forth between the two is so stark. It is way different than I was expecting, not just from the perspective, but as Grace, it feels very much like an old school Resident Evil game. Your inventory is very limited. You are, doing a lot of backtracking in the mansion. I'm saying that in air quotes because it's like a healthcare facility.
I mean, it looks a lot like the mansion from outside.
And it looks a lot like the police station in that lobby.
Yeah. I was going to say, I love the fact that Resident Evil captures that aesthetic look so well. In the beginning, just the text on a page, you can immediately be like, that's a Resident Evil page. Because the text font, but the way it's printed, even the spacing, you can just tell.
And the journals are always funny. It's like October 7th. Yeah, dude, we turned everybody into giant killing machines. I hope it works out. October 9th, guys, it did not work out.
By the way, did you notice that all the dates are later this year? All the current stuff is like in the second half of 2026, which is kind of interesting.
It's fun these Resident Evil characters age with us.
Yeah, right.
Leon does look older.
He does.
Leon's looking a little grizzled these days.
Well, I mean, he's got some stuff going on. Let's be honest.
He's got some stuff going on, but even then, I'm like, boy's starting to show some age.
Here you go, CB. Sorry, here you go, CB. This one's for you.
David Newman says, as someone in anesthesia, I hate when people come back to life when they're supposed to be dead or heavily sedated.
As someone who works in EMS, I agree.
But to Scott's point about the dichotomy between our two protagonists, because the game does recommend you with the viewpoints, right? But Grace's sections are slow paced, puzzle heavy. She's kind of frail and is a little bit of a scaredy cat because she's just a data analyst. So it is kind of like high intensity, sort of take a deep breath before you run down the dark hallway kind of game. And then you play as Leon, and all of a sudden you're just John Wick and zombies all the way down the highway.
The meme that I saw online was like playing as Grace, and it's a picture of what's her name from The Shining, like just terrorized look on her face leaning against the door.
Shelley
Duvall, and then as playing as Leon is like a gif of oh god, what's that movie with Colin Firth just like killing everybody in the
Kingsman?
Kingsman, yeah. Like just going to town while they're playing Freebird. I just thought
that hatchet, by the way, is amazeballs.
That's the thing.
Like, you're playing as Grace, and you can like shoot a zombie in the knee to do a melee attack, and she just like pushes them over so you can run away. And then you play as Leon, and you shoot him in the knee, and you're burying a hatchet in their head, and then you're picking up the pole that they were using to throw into the next zombie down the street.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like two different games in one.
I will say, after about the first hour as Grace, I started to be overloaded with stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, like, Grace with that gun is, because that's all I use that's all I make.
Oh, bullets?
Is bullets for the one gun specifically.
Oh, see, I make a lot of those, what do you call those little like injector things that kill
the auto injectors
in one hit? And I'm trying to use those strategically, like for some of the bigger. That's the thing is like we got to talk about the zombies. Like they're not
chunk. All I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna say that name. I'm not gonna tell anybody what it is, but the name Chunk. If you two both know what I'm talking about,
I know what you're talking about.
Was the most fun thing ever.
Yeah,
I love Chunk.
It feels. See, I'm not sure which one you're talking about because I know where you are in the game, and I don't know if we're talking about the same thing because that could be one of two things that you're seeing.
Well, we're not going to get into it. We're not going to get into it anymore here.
Yep. Yeah.
We're not going to spoil stuff.
He was like, "I love Chunk," and I love Lamp.
Like Chunk.
What?
Also with Leon, like he's got that axe that CB was talking about. Like he can actually because the melee weapons degrade, right? So when Grace uses like a knife or a makeshift knife, it eventually loses its dullness and then it gets thrown away, or you can turn it in for scrap. But Leon, when his axe loses sharpness, he just sharpens it quick, and then it's like full back. It's like you feel like a god, like he's been through all this stuff, and his inventory is massive.
He's earned it, man.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing. It's almost like they figured out a way to do the Metroid thing where you were geared up, and then like you lose all your abilities. They've just done that by incorporating the second character as Grace, and I think it's really smart. Plus, I love how they are incorporating the two stories together. I feel like the stories in previous games where you had, Leon and Claire and things like that, they didn't like overlap as much as I would have liked. And here it's like this is going on while that's going on, or I just, and then you come through as this other character after the other character's been there, so you know it, but everything has been worked over because your other character was there first. I don't know. I just love how everything is intertwining. There are things that are inaccessible to you as one character that you don't realize are accessible to you until you get to the other character. That they were more in your face in the original games. Like, oh, this character's lockpick skill, and this person has whatever.
I kind of figured that out though after playing like both the A and B sides of the original Resident Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a feeling it's like specifically like a cabinet, and it's like, oh, I have a feeling I can come back to this cabinet later with Leon.
Well, right, but at the time, because there's so many drawers that you open in this game that have absolutely nothing in them, which is like a pet peeve of mine in games. I would come across those cabinets and I would think, oh, they're just messing with me. But yeah.
I actually like that because it feels more realistic. Like you're not going to find something in every drawer that you look in.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, then put a little icon to open up every single drawer. Then don't just like randomly choose one and get my hopes up. It just drives me crazy. But
what's the point in that? Like you got four attempts to open something, and there might be something in each one.
Oh, so you're saying it's a loot box?
It's a gamble.
Yeah.
that is like, all right,
Don't-
folks, turn in after the show to give the key word.
Going back to something you said earlier, Zach, about like reading the journals. Did you find a journal that said main character energy?
Mm-hmm.
I laughed out loud when I read that.
Yep.
I was like, that is one of the funniest things I've seen in this game in a while.
We got a comment here from
I'm trying so hard to put it up because I was going to share it.
Jason. Let's see, Jason Shine X.
Jason Shine X.
Jason Shine X. The sound design and environmental factors are chilling. I could not agree more. I'm playing with headphones for this game.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I play a scary game, I like to play with headphones. And this
you take
game
them off then when you're playing as Leon because it's no longer scary. It's
Right.
murder time.
Yeah. No, I don't even think about it. But
It's got like a battle helmet.
this game does such a good job of, like, if something is even above you, like the floor above you, you can hear it, and it sounds like it's above you.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was actually like, we have a treadmill down here, and she's running on the treadmill while I'm playing this game, and she's like, this game sounds disgusting. She's like, it just sounds gooey. And I was like, you're not wrong.
I thought you were on headphones. How could she hear?
Well, I still have the volume on the TV.
Oh,
How rude.
He's playing 8.1 surround.
yeah. I mean, he's,
Right.
he's in a different universe than I am.
I don't want to have to change the
Right.
setting whenever I want to like take it off and play something else. I just
Oh, my bad. I thought it was coming through my headset. Like,
Now, the sound design though in the like that opening area, walking down the alley.
Mhm.
at the beginning.
Yeah, like when you're in the city,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like you're walking, like the sound design in that was incredible.
Mhm.
Just like hearing people walk, I'm like literally, I was so fascinated. I was walking and like looking in shop windows, just like reading everything.
Oh, really? I didn't. I just was kind of like, I want to see what's going on. So I just kind of beelined it. I didn't pay as close attention at that point. I was more interested in getting into whatever this game's mansion was going to be.
Mhm.
But I will say the voices of the zombies, speaking of the sound design, is awesome. And I'm going to kind of couple this with 2 points.
Sorry, I apologize. I was thinking about the zombie who's obsessed with the light switches.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's one.
Beat.
That one is creepy, but the one that creeped me out the most is well, okay, let me back up, because what I think is really cool about the zombies is that they're not just regular old shambling zombies like we've gotten used to in the Resident Evil series. They are shamblers, but they are former employees of this facility. And it's like they're locked into doing whatever they were doing right before they turned. So there are maids that are or janitors that are still cleaning, like scrubbing the floor, or there are patients that are holding these IV carts or whatever. There's a chef that's like still cooking, things like that. And one of the creepiest moments for me is right near the foyer. There's if you turn east, there's a room there that's got one of those guys with the IV things on wheels, and he's very much like doesn't like loud noises. And so he keeps saying this stuff really creepily, like quiet, and then starts swearing. I almost said it on, but the way he swears in that voice just sounds so freaking creepy. I just love every aspect of the design there.
I'm loving the surprise elements.
Yeah.
The when you go to like a garage. Like just that surprise, like that caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm. I was that was a personal favorite for me too, and it was also not even just from a jump scare point of view, but like, wow, they went there. You know what I mean? Like
the jump scares, like this is for the first time in a while where I feel like we get that blending of like Resident Evil 1 through 3, but also like throwing in 4, skipping 5 to me wasn't the best,
and 6.
It gets a little 5. It gets a little 5 later.
But
It does.
it feels like that perfect blending of like the old school horror versions with the action adventure versions.
Mm-hmm.
But finding a way to like you ride that high up of the horror aspect, you hit that action adventure aspect, and as soon as you feel like you're coming back down, it just ramps up again. It's just like that perfect momentum of
And that keeps
finding
going
everything.
too.
And that really works well with the story, right? Because you get those cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Where we're like, well, I want to see what's happening next with Grace, but then you're like, well, I can't turn down playing as Leon. But then his ends in a way where we're like, well, I want to see what's going on with Leon. But you're like, wait, no, I need to get back to Grace though. It's really well paced in that way.
Like I loved 7 and Village, but I felt like there was those lulls. So like the lulls in that game, like you get comfortable, you're like, okay, I'm fine for a bit, and then it's like just punches you in the face again. This, it just feels like it doesn't really let up. It's just like it goes and it goes and it goes, and I'm finding that like rhythm, and I'm noticing for me, like in the beginning, like you said, Grace is very like hesitant to do things, and I'm almost finding this point where it's like it feels like that's wearing off with her.
Well, it's the benefit of being a new character is she can actually have an arc, whereas Leon is just going to be Leon the whole time.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and also her actress is incredible.
Yeah,
she's really good.
Yeah, she's doing good stuff.
I am a little bothered by the fact that she is an FBI agent that like clearly hasn't been trained for the field. I don't know. I'm not in the FBI. Like I know you said she's just like an analyst or whatever, but I feel like even
first field mission.
I mean, they still get training for field, right? I mean, Clarice Starling, had some training.
Well, I mean, she's got firearms training. It's just she never thought she would be in the field, right?
Right. I do also think the setup is a little messed up.
Yeah,
like. That was the first thing that threw me off. Like, I mean, I'm not spoiling anything. This is like how they marketed the game, right? Like, you're going to go, we know your mom was killed at this hotel, but we want you to go investigate it. You're the only person in this entire Federal Bureau of Investigation that can do this.
Well,
yeah. I'm hoping there's some kind of story payoff as to like that explains that. I don't know, but
yeah, I don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Have you finished it, Zach?
No.
Okay.
I think Scott and I are relatively at the same spot.
Yes.
I think I'm a little. I've started the area I think he just arrived at.
Okay.
I think
there are in the area. I know I'm being vague, but there are 3 points of interest. You've gotten that. I've gotten one of those. I'm on the second point of interest. If that gives you
I am on the third. So,
okay. So you're officially ahead of me.
Neck and neck.
So it is. Man,
what?
I am in love with this game. I was a little bummed that the Leon sections were so short because they were, very kick-ass and they're
giving you just the perfect amount of taste. They're just like, here you go.
Well, they balance it because pre-release they were saying that they're pretty much split half and half, and I think that is proving out to be true in the long run.
Yes.
And the game itself seems pretty aware that it's been 30 years of Resident Evil because it is wrapping in elements from each of the entries in at least small ways.
Correct. Yep.
But not in annoying fan servicey ways, I don't think. Like in ways that do feel natural. It's just they managed to weave in references to all the hits along the way. That's all.
Just like subtle ones. Even, I mean, some are subtle, some are not so subtle. Like
Well, see, there's one thing where I do feel is a little fan servicey, but I'm not going to get into that here. But otherwise, it is all very clever, I think. Which is a tough needle to thread. That's why I call it out, because it's just I was afraid it was going to be just patting itself on the back for being Resident Evil when some of that stuff started popping up, but it's pretty good about it.
I also am enjoying the puzzles. I feel like there is I think I texted Jake and told him this. Like some of the puzzles were a little Blueprints-esque for me in terms of like thinking outside the box a little bit. There was one that I was like, that I figured out what I needed to do like well before I was supposed to, and I was really proud of myself. I feel like I trained my brain after playing Blueprints for so long, but they're not egregious. They're not like super difficult, but they're also not just stupidly easy either. Everything just feels like a really good challenge.
I think there are a couple that are stupid easy, but for the most part, they're okay.
I'm actually like this. This is like where I was kind of upset a little.
Mhm.
Is the reliance on safes? There's too many safes.
Aren't there like 3 safes?
I exactly think of 3.
But so I think I've come across. There's like 3 or 4.
Okay.
But I remember like in basically 1 through 4, like if you found a safe, like that was a cool moment where it's like, I'm like, I feel like there's more safes.
All right, man. I didn't know.
And
Didn't know people
I
felt
just
strongly about
also
I didn't know you were a
don't like,
safest.
I'm not a fan of the parlor thing.
Oh, where you can turn in the coins?
Yeah, I haven't liked that since they did it the first time around.
way better than the skill tree.
Yeah. It's kind of, I mean, it's dumb. I mean, the whole thing is dumb, right? With the like, we're gonna
I don't know, man. I like the crafting though.
You're gonna like, I'm gonna take this scrap metal and mix it with some infected blood and turn it into bullets.
Sure.
Yeah. Did you? I gotta ask you guys. Did you play roulette?
Yeah, sure. Haven't won yet.
Oh, that is a fun little.
I keep sending the ball. I didn't know that you could actually play.
Well, it's not like in your. I mean, there's a way to play. I mean, think how would you? I don't know. We'll talk about it after. I don't want to say too much.
Okay.
But, and there's another potential Easter egg as well, but I could be getting ahead of myself. But we'll talk about that afterwards. So, I did want to mention one other comment from J Sun Shine X. The singer horrified me. Holy crap, he's not wrong. Have you come across the singer yet, CB?
In these, like in the
healthcare
clinic
facility, yes.
Yeah.
Man, when you hear that voice, like, yeah, there's 2 of them there. That is the creepiest thing. Holy cow. It's intensely creepy.
But see that, like, I'm loving those like essentially mini bosses.
Yeah. That and the chef, and then there's some other things. It's just really cool. I also love that when you kill something or kill a zombie or explode a zombie or anything, the mess stays. It is there permanently on your playthrough, which is like I know it sounds like a small thing, but it's really cool that you just come back and be like, oh yeah, that's where I exploded that one zombie right here. And it's just like everything is still there. It doesn't just fade away into existence.
I've had a couple disappear.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not had any disappear. And it is a fun reminder of how cool I am.
Yeah. Boy, I don't.
And they shout out to the stalker type enemy in Grace's sections. I think it's a really strong one of those.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to give anything away, obviously, but
there are so many moments that I want to talk freely about. I almost feel like I want to do like a spoiler cast when we're done with this, because
I'm down for it.
I just there's stuff coming yet, CV, that are really cool nods and just really awesome set pieces. I think I was texting Zach and telling him I miss games like this, where it's not linear, because there is some backtracking and whatnot, but there's not skill trees, there's not, and you're playing through and looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next.
It's a horror 3D gear gated game.
Yeah,
it's a mouthful.
And then
shout out to J Sunshine X. My only complaint is I wish classic mode was a little harder and less ink ribbons. I agree. I chose classic mode for the restricted saves, but they give you so many ink ribbons and ink ribbon tins, which you could just load up with your blood to save. Blood's everywhere. That it was, I was almost like, well, I feel like this actually didn't restrict me in any way.
If anything, it takes up space. Don't ink ribbons take up space?
Yeah, well, you can just put them in the storage box, of course.
Yeah, that's true.
And because you can always just make more bullets, those aren't really a concern either. So I'm with you, Jay Sunshine. I wish it was a more classic in that way, because I picked it because it only affected Grace's segment. So it really did feel like I was just getting 2 different Resident Evil games. Mm-hmm. But then to see how many save items I had was a little disappointing.
I actually played it without the ink ribbons because I was like, I didn't want that headache.
It wouldn't have been a headache.
Yes. All right, that is Resident Evil Requiem. I'm sure you'll hear us report back next week. I can't imagine I don't have this thing finished because I cannot stop playing it. It is
joy,
so good. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to talk about Icarus a little bit more?
I talked like a minute about it, and you were like, "Nope."
I kind of want to hear more about Icarus. To be honest, I guess I gotta wait till next week, and then the 4 years afterwards, he'll be playing.
Yeah, right. Man, really digging the game though.
Yeah, great. How great is Maiden of the Dark on Game Boy, Scott?
Well, I gotta give a shout out to Tiger Chainsaw. If you remember, we interviewed him, TC, a few weeks ago about this game, and I had pre-ordered, or I had kickstarted his game at the top tier, which got me an actual physical copy of the game in a box and everything. And I got the game in the mail, and I was kind of shocked at the size of the box. This thing was like almost 3 feet long and a good 6 to 8 inches deep. And I was like, this is a Game Boy game, right? It's like, what in the world? And the dude included a poster for me. Like it didn't roll it up. He actually put a flat poster in a box, put the game in there, and a handwritten thank you note on Tiger Chainsaw letterhead, no less. Like actual, like his logo was like right on the back of it, and he hand wrote a note and said thanks. I thought it was just really a cool gesture, and it meant a lot. So I didn't play the cartridge of this. He actually sent me a copy of the ROM, so I played this on my MacBook using it. I think it's Open EMU is the emulator that I'm using, and took me a while to figure out how to get my 8-bit DOE hooked up again because I haven't used that on my Mac in quite a while. I had to map the buttons and all that, but I got to work. And this game is hard, guys. This is a challenging game. It's a simple game in terms of, you've got a melee attack. You've got the ability to throw essentially Chinese stars. I don't know which else you would call them. But it becomes very much a pattern recognition game. Like you just got to, it's a platformer, 2D side scroller, move from left to right, memorize where the enemies are. If you die, you go all the way back to the beginning of the stage. And then you have limited continues. So there's only like 6 stages. I've only made it to the end of to stage 3. So it's not easy, but it is it's really kind of cool seeing a Game Boy game that you can actually play on your Game Boy that is gory, which you can imagine. Like the title screen has a beheaded samurai head, like on just laying there right next to the title of the game, which is kind of cool. Even the cutscenes are about as violent as you can get for a Game Boy game.
You know who needs the ESRB when you're making your own Game Boy game in 2026?
Exactly. So I don't know if you can. I guess I would have to ask TC if you can like purchase the ROM, but you can still buy the actual physical cartridge, and I recommend you do it just to support this kind of stuff. It's you get the full box and manual and everything for $55 on his website. So I'm enjoying it. It is it's a cool little collection on my shelf. I love these homebrew games, and he should be very proud of what he's put together here. So
do you think you will beat it, or do you think Maiden of the Dark will beat you?
I will beat it. It's just a matter of sitting down. I got distracted by this awesome game that I was playing this weekend that took my attention. It's not a mark against Maiden of the Dark. It's just it's not an easy game. You know what I mean? Sure. But and also,
and Resident Evil is not an easy game to put down.
Correct. The one thing is I feel like I need to get a different 8-bit DOE controller because mine, the jump button, is very clacky when you release it. So if I'm like playing in the room with my wife, I just feel like I'm being super annoying by the constant clicks of that. But I've got a second one. I should just swap it out.
Need to clean it.
It's like hardly used, man. It's not even it's like when it comes back up, it just pops up too hard. It's just I think it's the design. It's not
I
like
think
overuse.
You're just worried about something that doesn't need to be worried about.
All right, you tell me. I'll play it in front of you, and you see how annoying it is.
Okay.
he's playing and it's like
yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we should clean that up a little bit.
All right, we got one other game to talk about. I sat down with Mark Szymanski, our lead news editor. He has played a new game that he is absolutely loving. I want you to hear that. We'll play that right now. Thank you, Mark. As always, do appreciate it. I want to remind everybody before we get to our topic about our website, thegamingoutsider.com. If you would like to check out any of our episodes, you could listen to them right there on the website. Or if you want to read our written content, you can do so there as well. Mark's review of Mario Tennis Fever is up on the site. And also Joel's reviews of Side Effects May Include and Side Effects are both on the website. No, they're not related in any way, shape, or form. They just sound very similar, but they're completely different games. And we would love it if you checked out our reviews there. Again, thegamingoutsider.com. All right, now let's go now and jump into our From the Outside In topic. This week, our From the Outside In topic, I wanted to see what opinions about video games everyone had that they would consider to be a hot take. I'm talking about something that most people feel one way and you feel the complete opposite. I thought this would be kind of fun. So what about you guys? We got a lot from the listeners. Any hot takes you have about our favorite industry? CB, let's start with you.
Okay, here we go. I think video gaming in its current state is ruining the industry as a whole.
Man, we've heard that somewhere.
Is that a hot take?
That's not really a hot take.
Or is that just the take?
That's my take.
All right.
So yeah, I think overall the way that a lot of the companies are headed and the way that games are being produced right now are ruining the industry. And I'm actually kind of hoping that we have a second video game collapse.
Wow. So
real quick, I do hope AAA has a collapse. I do.
I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah, I kind of want them to go under because I think indie games are better.
I do say that knowing full well that currently I'm blasting through a AAA game.
Yeah, right.
Running year to year the whole time. But it's also more of an exception than it is the rule.
But at the same time, I feel that Capcom kind of just still stands alone.
Yeah, a small company.
Like it's not
Capcom? They're small? How small are they?
They're not owned by Sony or Microsoft or.
Oh, I thought you just meant like.
Yeah. I mean, they're not like industry giant.
They're doing what not a lot of people are doing, is what I thought he meant, in that they're making single player games that are completable in a weekend.
Gotcha.
They're not turning everything into a multiplayer looter shooter with loot boxes.
Though they certainly do that with Street Fighter. And I think they tried with Exoprimal, though I don't think anybody showed up.
True.
And Monster Hunter, I guess, of course. Jacob, you can let me know about that.
David Newman says that he thinks it's actually not ruining gaming. It's just shifting the market to AA and indie games, which I think is kind of what we all want, right?
Yeah, that's where it's shifted my money. Yeah.
But for some reason, people keep showing up in droves and buying Madden and Call of Duty and.
Well, you got to buy Madden. You got to get that roster update.
No, I don't. I'll still keep playing Madden 06.
That's a good one.
This could have been an email.
So, I also had a second one. I think Nintendo is a complete sellout from what they were originally trying to do for gaming.
Okay. Why are they? Because they keep, iterating on their.
They are IPs? The kings of shovelware.
Shovelware.
We're gonna have a moment.
So when the NES first hit the market, remember how they used to limit, like, oh, you can make 5 games a year.
Yeah.
Now they're like, bring the garbage, just shovel it out.
Dude, I feel like that was the Wii era. Like that's been a thing for a long. Remember how much crap was on the Wii?
The Wii, the D. It started in. That's what I'm saying. They've become a complete sellout.
I don't think where they are now is nearly as bad as it was in the Wii and DS era.
When I was opening my Switch and going to the eShop, and I just saw tons and tons and tons of shovelware.
Well, that is because that's the way the eShop is organized is just like it's not a good place to browse.
I mean,
much shovelware.
Allowing your platform to play other games other than just your games is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of games to me. There's a lot of games that I didn't see on PlayStation or Xbox. It was just $5 shovelware games,
and that's and that can have its place. It's on Nintendo and it's nowhere else.
I miss the seal of quality. Where like Nintendo, like you have to submit your game to us. We're gonna test it before we put it out.
I think now the seal of quality is just first party games.
Well, see, now that's where I might jump in with a little bit of sellout. That $70 tennis game.
I will agree with you on that one.
That's not any other. If Sony did that, they would get roasted, right? Or Xbox, but Nintendo gets a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Or churning out the 15th Mario Party game.
Hey.
That plays the exact same as the 14 before it, right? Other people would get battered for that, and to them it's just like, man, I do love Nintendo though.
But Zach, so your comment there kind of feeds back to my first one, where the video game industry as a whole, the fanboyism, which is kind of fostered by the video game industry, I also feel is part of, like I said, why I want it to all just tank. I don't need new games.
You just want the flood to happen and just start from scratch?
Yep. Just burn it all.
All right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to
Madden of Nintendo.
We're going to each pick a listener comment as well, too, for a hot take. So whose listener comment did you want to read?
So I might as well take a Dr. David Newman. His first one here. My hot take, I think gear gated formula is overrated. Specifically, most have items or areas that require an ability to reach an area or item in which you don't get until later in the game. I find this to be frustrating and unnecessary. I don't have a problem with needing a new ability to progress the game, but hate having to backtrack and almost never go back to an area unless there's an easy fast travel to make it less tedious. I kind of feel this one because, as a few people know, I have never been inclined to play a Metroid game.
Any Metroid game?
I have never played a Metroid game.
Jake either?
I have never played a Metroid game.
You have in your possession my copy of Metroid Zero Mission in my Game Boy Advance sitting at your house right now.
I own every Metroid game.
I just try one.
I've never been.
Okay, we need to break the seal episode.
We have people that I've never played a Resident Evil game. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I've never really cared to play a Metroid game.
I just didn't know that anybody that grew up with an NES didn't at least even try the original. Like even before we knew what,
because there were better games.
Can I go off script just a little bit here, because I feel like one of my hot takes aligns with David Newman's comment, and I'm gonna get a lot of hate. I'm gonna get a lot of hate and dirty look from at least one person for my hot take.
Sure,
let's go.
There's nothing wrong with the term Metroidvania.
No, no. I mean, it's just lazy.
What?
Wait, this is your hot take?
That's my hot take. But there is
nothing hot take to me.
Wait, is that the entirety of your hot take?
That one of them. That is one of them.
Okay, thank goodness.
It's not my only hot take. That was one
my hot take is that Scott's hot take was a cop out.
I assume he has more.
I'm actually gonna stand with Zach on this. I actually think gear gated sounds way better than Metroidvania.
I don't have a problem. I've never had a problem with it. I mean, I don't have a problem with gear gated either, although it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. The
Metroidvania has more syllables.
I know, but you don't have the dual syllables. Gear gated.
Yeah, famously humans hate alliteration. Okay. You're right.
All right. If you have never played a Metroidvania or a Metroid, you don't know what that genre is.
Right. It is a totally useless descriptor. I've heard other people like some people call it search action. Like there are other genre names. Those are all fine. It's just totally a useless term. It's just like when people a roguelike, Souls-like. It's just so freaking lazy, and we can do better. Like, why is Call of Duty a Doom-like?
No.
But it would be if the modern audience decided what it was called.
Well, they came up with a better term, first-person shooter.
Yes, yeah. So they can come up with a better term than Metroidvania. That's my only argument. You can use whatever word you want. Just know you're using a worse version.
Fair enough.
I mean,
All right.
At its core, isn't it just side scroller?
Side scroller.
Well, that gets into so many things. That's like calling every Japanese cartoon an anime, right? Like there are sub-genres within it.
That's true.
I know Aaron says Doom is also an FPS. Yeah, I know that, man. I'm saying if it was released today, they would be calling first-person shooters Wolfen Dooms.
Wolfen Doom.
New phrase has been unlocked.
It's a new Soulsborne coming out. It's just so come on, guys.
I don't know. I actually kind of like Wolfen Doom.
Wolfen Doom at least sounds fun.
To your point, right? To your point, like if you say Metroidvania to a kid today, they're not going to know. Or apparently CB, who doesn't know what a Metroid game is.
I know what Metroid is. I've just never.
I was
been inclined to.
All right. It's settled. Every Japanese cartoon is anime.
Right, I understand. There are genres.
So says our producer.
I don't know. I don't want to get into that. You know what? I do. The last thing I want to do is offend the anime fan base.
Right.
It's true.
I was about to say that.
I can't get into this
rabid fan base.
All right, Zach, you're up. Let's hear your hot takes.
Okay, sure. Well, I came to 3, but I'm going to knock it down to 2 because we have so many great comments that these people deserve the time. So I've said this one before, but I just really mean it. Uncharted 4 is an unnecessary game with a bad story that makes Nathan Drake repeat his same character arc from Uncharted 3. And when it doesn't have him doing that, it's actually making his character worse overall.
I mean, I don't know if a whole lot of people disagree with you because
it's a pretty universally beloved game. I think I've said it enough to where it doesn't feel like that's a hot take to you.
It's not a shock anymore.
But I mean, I'm just thinking I just started playing the original Uncharted recently. And like the first game stands out to me. There's specific moments, even before I started replaying it, that stand out. 2 definitely has moments that stand out. 3, I can think right now, like 3 just like set pieces that were like huge and things I loved. And 4, there's only one thing I remember about it. And it's not even like a majorly significant part about that game. Like when they're sitting playing Crash Bandicoot on the couch, right? That is like that. And when he's like pretending like he's still Nathan Drake ended up in his house, shooting at targets and stuff. I don't remember.
You remember the first 5 minutes of the game?
That's all in the first 5 minutes of the game.
It's all right at the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Yeah. I don't remember. I don't even remember. That's how not memorable that game was for me. Maybe it's just because I played through it so quickly in one sitting or whatever. I don't remember.
Like it,
That's another franchise I've never played.
Oh, really? And you're a Sony guy.
I played the first one only.
I mean, the first 3 are great. As is Lost Legacy, the one that came after 4. I think that one's great too.
But
4 blows.
2 is so good.
Yeah, 2's excellent. 3, 3's the best though.
Here we go.
3 is the best?
I think so.
David Newman says, hot take, the first Uncharted sucks, but I did already say that on the Break the Seal from like 5 years ago. I would recommend going back and playing the remaster because I think that game is pretty awesome.
Well, the remaster was definitely out 5 years ago. I'm sure Newman played the remaster.
I don't know how you could say that game sucks. That game is pretty good.
I mean, I agree.
It's a hot take, right?
All right, but anyway, I guess it wasn't hot enough for you. But how about Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet is a top 3 Zelda game?
Should have seen that coming.
Can
we get a remake of that one with a proper control scheme? Because
you don't need the proper control scheme because it's already so great. Like you just play it as it is.
I don't know, man. Didn't we play that for a retro reminisce or retro outsider?
You tried to make me play it with you, and I was like, no.
We were beating our head against the wall. Like, what in the world is going on with this game?
It was almost as bad as the the controls for Super Mario 64.
I don't remember that being a problem.
I don't remember.
You and I played. It was either that or Super Mario Sunshine. One of the two. Like the controls.
Sunshine
were atrociously bad.
Because Super Mario Sunshine does not let you like turn the camera, like revert the left and right. The left and right is backwards from like the standard way that you play it, and you can't adjust it on the GameCube. You can on the modern versions of it, I believe. But
I almost just said a hot take, and you and I probably would have fought.
Oh yeah. Oh, is it about Ocarina of Time?
Nope.
That's also a top 3 Zelda.
Inverted controls are stupid.
No.
I mean, I feel like that is one of those that is like legitimately split down the middle. I feel like that is so divisive.
Down is down.
I doubt it's split down the middle.
Up.
I feel like we're probably in like a minority.
You think so?
Like a 25% probably minority, right?
Oh man,
because it comes in, because whilst it comes with every shipped game, I don't know if you've ever played like there are a lot of like demos and stuff that don't have it because nobody making it plays that way.
The fact that you have to turn it on in games should tell you you're wrong.
Well, they should all just do the Halo thing where you just look up and down real quick.
Oh, let's test this out, Chief. Take a look up for me.
Or surely technology has evolved to where like, well, wherever they just move the stick the first time, that's what it is.
You'd think.
I don't play with inverted controls because I'm not playing a plane.
I just don't know how you switch that in your. We could have this whole conversation.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Star Fox Adventure Dinosaur Planet, one of the best Zelda games. I will grant you, it does have the Metroid Prime problem where the C-stick on GameCube was like inventory control.
Ah.
Yeah. So
is that how Metroid Prime was?
Yeah,
oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a problem with it in Prime, though. I thought that was fine in Prime.
Well, then I don't know what your excuse is. You just hate Star Fox. You say quality? He's got that cool staff, dude.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want from a game that was previously in an R-Wing.
There are R-Wings in this game. Did you not play it?
I did not complete it, but I played it.
You shoot stuff in a spaceship occasionally. And you save like a really, sexy fox lady.
No.
I love how you like paused. Like you were like, do I say this or not?
I was like, should I say this? I don't know. certainly when the game came out, I thought she was sexy.
I will say
I'm having anger a different community
of sitting in. I will say I'm having flashbacks of sitting in because like I remember certain parts of the screen now.
We were sitting in that tiny little room in your basement, like because that was all the space we had for your recording room. Remember that?
Yeah. When you and I were sitting in the little nook corner.
Yeah, it's this tiny little thing in the
hey friend.
Dude, the shopkeeper in that game is a ghost dinosaur. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can barter with them. And then they'll be like, no, that's too low. It's good stuff. Everybody's British. What a game.
Little kid me bought it because it was going to be Star Fox 64. And then little kid me was like, this game sucks because it was not Star Fox 64.
Well, play with full knowledge, Jacob. I believe in you that you'll see the light. Unlike Scott Clark.
Did you have a community one you wanted to share too?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll go to my last one. I use this one because obviously I've reiterated this point 1,000 times on this podcast. But Kanaka, apologies, says, I hate skill trees. They're not all bad, but usually I feel either overwhelmed or underwhelmed. It's really overdone in action adventure games too, so I have to resist the urge to roll my eyes every time I see a skill tree in Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed, etc. I'll crash out if Nintendo ever puts a skill tree in a Zelda game. He makes an interesting point because Nintendo loves fun over everything, right? That's always their thing, is fun gameplay, have a good time, etc. And they don't do a skill tree. You know why? Because they're not fun.
I love skill trees.
Ridiculous.
I love reading everything about a skill tree before I go down a branch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm playing Borderlands 4 with Joel right now, and I do not like it's stressful to me because I'm worried that I'm going to miss out on something awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told you for Baldur's Gate.
You can
I went through and read everything first and made a plan about how I want my character to be.
I don't want homework before my game.
It's part of the game, and then you never have to do it again. You know exactly.
Also, like a not fun part is part of the game.
Dude, you take 10 minutes and you read the skill tree and go, dude, that sounds cool. I want to spec in this skill tree. And then when you're playing, you go, okay, I got a skill point. Boom, it's in the tree, and I keep playing.
See, Scott, the Borderlands skill tree you're talking about actually sounds interesting, unlike what Aaron Plays is saying here in the chat, where he says, I like simple skill trees where I know I'll eventually be able to acquire everything at some point. Those are the worst skill trees, because then that means you're not even picking anything anyway. Now it's just there for no reason.
You're just filling in a gap.
Yeah, whereas you're replacing what would have been moments in old games where your character improves or gets a new item that allows them to do whatever.
Paul Hine has an interesting take on that. He says, what's wrong with the skill tree? The only thing that it does is incentivize multiple playthroughs.
Because they can't design the game around what you have or don't. So either they put interesting skills in the skill tree, but they can't use them in interesting level design because they can't count on you having them, or they have to fill it with a bunch of nonsense that doesn't actually change anything anyway. So therefore, you're really just wasting my time.
I think that if games actually took the whole skill tree in consideration when making the level design could be a lot more intricate. Well, if you have this skill, you could go this way. If you have that skill, you could go this way.
So yeah,
the problem is, though, is it takes time.
Yeah.
But
also, it's just silly that an actual God of War has to increase his dodge ability. Just silly.
Hammerheim says BG3, Baldur's Gate 3. Yes, we don't have these skills, so we can't do that. I'm not good at speaking to people, so we're not speaking to people. I roll really, really bad when speaking to people.
Yeah, but
I don't get any knowledge.
That's RPG, right? That is like your character has these abilities, so you're not going to be able to be as good at that as somebody else.
Well, yeah, but I mean the same thing when Fallout and your special tree and all that kind of stuff. So you don't spec into charisma, so you can't go down that skill tree to get those special ones like being able to woo or have 10% bonus on female or male characters or any of that kind of stuff. So then when you're talking to them, you're bad. Whereas if you spec down that tree, okay, now you're a little bit better.
Yeah. So you're saying that makes it interesting, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean that
in an open platform game that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you have a more linear approach to a game, a skill tree doesn't make sense. And I there are some games that throw it in there just to look, we have a skill tree.
Total non sequitur, but was it Fallout 2 where if your intelligence stat was low enough, all of your dialogue choices were just like mumbles and grunts because your character didn't know how to talk?
I think 2 and 3 are like that.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love that. It's so good.
Oh, Jake, you're up, man.
Oh man! All right. Hold on.
Oh no!
Simulators are the greatest game ever.
How could it be a hot take when it's just so obviously true?
My hot take is that AI has a place in video game production. From art to code to modeling to world interactions.
Oh, that's next week.
There it is. Okay. So, used minimally and as a starting point rather than an ending or a complete process, I believe that when used as a tool and not an employee, it could make a real difference. And in fact, it's already made differences in some instances already. There are already tools that allow us to skip certain steps in the video game development that, I mean, could be considered, cheating or whatever. You have mocap, C# and various other art programs. We talked to the developer however many weeks ago, and he said that he used AI, and I know it turned a lot of people off, but he said that he uses it as someone who can't walk using a wheelchair. And personally, I can't draw. So if I decided to make a video game, if I don't go to anybody, I don't have a game. And so if I don't have anyone in my corner to help me make the game, I don't have enough money to pay games. Like, I'm going to go to AI and be like,
but
hey,
that's like me saying, because I'm not physically fit, I'm not going to run a marathon. Like, if I don't have the ability, I'm just not gonna...
just like I said, if I don't have any money, I can't hire an artist.
Yeah, so it's also like
going to happen.
If you can't afford a Chipotle, do you get to go back there and just make yourself a bowl? Well, that's what AI is doing.
Well, a lot of people artistry is something that you can't learn. Like,
I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I will fight you on that.
No,
art school.
No. There are art schools, yes, but that is to improve upon like basics and stuff like that. My thing is like, I can imagine what I want to draw, but my hands are stupid. They don't do the things that I want them to do. Spacing and movements and all that kind of stuff are horrendous for me. And so, yes, if you have somebody that can, because in video game development before, what you would do is you'd have your director or your art director or whatever come down to a bunch of people and go, I need 45 drawings of a wilderness place by the end of the week, blah, blah, whatever. Everyone bring what you got, and they would choose which one's best. It would be whatever best describes what they envisioned for their game to be. This takes that out of that, and then I can go to something and go, hey, make a landscape with this, blah, blah, whatever. And then I can take that to an artist and be like, hey, I'm looking for this, but it needs to be improved upon. I was hoping I could get this in there. I was hoping I could get that in there, blah, blah, whatever. And again, not as a complete process, but as a stepping stone. We use mocap in the process of, animating models where they used to animate them by hand. So we are using a simpler process or an easier process to, we removed the modeling guy and put in an actor wearing balls to animate these things now. So it makes it easy. We use C# instead of C++ because C# allows easier access to the programming. We use various art programs all over the place, whether it be Photoshop or any of the other countless ones that are out there, to easily draw, redraw, and submit different, things all of the time. And that will allow, okay, I didn't like this tree here. Okay, erase the tree. Boom, done. I didn't like the way that the shirt lands on his chest. Okay, erase that. Boom, done. I didn't like his cape. Boom, out of there. Whereas before, you'd have to go all the way back to the drawing board, redraw the character, and do whatever. So these tools that we have made to make all of this stuff easier on us have their place. Whereas at some point they were probably, well, we don't need this. We do it this way. We've been doing it just fine this way for forever. But if you have someone who is struggling, and I could go easily probably to Kickstarter and be like, I have this great game idea, but I need $400,000 to make it happen because I need to hire everybody with the skills. Like, without any kind of proof of concept, none of that's going to happen.
The difference is,
but none of the other examples of the technological advances had to do with stealing everybody else's work.
That was going to be my point.
And then using it for yourself. Like, well, Larry wants to put all of their concept art that they've ever made for all of their Divinity games into an AI machine and then use it to regurgitate concept arts for their own Divinity games, then that would be okay. I
mean, for one, video games have already been taking art and stuff from other people already without AI. So
we still have to replicate it.
Well, okay, we'll go back. What was it? Resident Evil 4 that was using pictures of broken windows in their art, and then they got sued for it. So, I mean,
if they got sued for it, then justice was.
Well, I'm just saying, but that was something that they went out of their way to go do. And who knows how many other types of instances that this is said. I'm not saying that taking other people's work is okay, but if it will allow the interchange of ideas among people who are working to build something, then that is a stepping stone in the right direction. Just the same way among friends, me and my friends go, oh, hey, we're, I have a friend who's a big Packer fan. I used AI to put him at a Packer game and send it away and mess with our other friends. Like,
yeah, but that is not making money.
No, it's not. But at the same time, me conveying an idea to somebody else to make them understand what I'm trying to convey to them is not making money either. In the same way that I can sit there and have, a director looks at a film and has them do the shot and then goes, no, I didn't like how this was done. And then they redo the entire shot. Or you have an artist redo all of their drawings because you didn't like them. You have art programs that allow them to erase one specific thing. This is just a way to convey ideas to somebody else.
But like to Zach's point, those artists that are doing that are making the art themselves. If you were asking AI or a computer to do that, it's not coming up with its own art. It's taking different assets and putting it together to make
an amalgamation.
An amalgamation of all these different things. There's nothing unique or original.
Well, if I go into Photoshop right now and I pull out all of the pictures that I can find and put them together in a picture to draw a new picture and send it to you and say, this is what I had in mind. And you go, oh, okay, that's cool. Well, for one, I wouldn't use Photoshop. I use GIF, GIMP, which is a free service, and then put all that stuff together, just stuff that I stole offline.
So you're saying You're saying to spark creativity. Then you're not saying to use the.
That's what I said.
Product. You're saying
I said used minimally and as a starting point rather than an ending or a complete process. I believe as a tool.
Okay,
it could benefit us.
I'm saying use it for concept.
That's what I just said. The interchanging of ideas.
In your example of using it for a Kickstarter, though, then you are using it to get money.
No, if I have no way of showing anybody what I want to build in the first place, I'll never get anywhere.
Right. Unless you hire an artist.
Right. And if I have no money.
Sure. Or learn to draw.
I don't feel like you would go to Kickstarter to look for an artist, though. That's not.
Well, no, that's not what he's saying. That's not what I'm saying. Like to earn enough money to hire artists, to hire coders, to hire, modelers and all this stuff to actually make the game, to make the money. I'd have to have proof of concept that something would be there to allow people to see something, rather than just saying, "Hey, I need a bunch of money for something that's intangible right now."
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, if you've never made a game before and you don't have the talent yourself, I feel like taking on a $400,000 project for your first thing.
The number is irrelevant. The idea is, if I don't know how to draw, it doesn't matter what the price is.
It does, though. I mean, because
no, it doesn't.
You've got to pay an artist. They're not
correct
free.
If I have zero money, how am I going to pay the artist?
I mean, how do any of these companies do it?
Scott. If I have zero money, zero, how am I going to pay an artist to have a?
You get a loan, like every other business does.
So, no, these companies don't get loans to pay their.
So this actually does happen in the game. You have an idea. You know what you do? You sell the idea.
Yeah, you could do that.
So you do it as a side project until you have something built, and or
you do. God, what's his name? The guy that made Stardew Valley. Like you teach yourself.
Yeah,
right.
Like that's why it took him so long. Was like he taught himself the art.
Well, that was just pixel art. That's great. But yeah, you're actually trying to come. Yes, it is a form of art, but it is probably one of the easiest forms of art.
Stick figures is the easiest form of art.
I mean, there are plenty of games doing that, but
some are fun.
I said, strolling.
We've got to go on because we still got a bunch to go through. So I feel like we should just have this as a whole topic when we.
Yeah. I feel we've uncovered.
It is smartest to move on.
For Kevin says, what about AI that isn't art related?
Well, Kevin, we just decided to move on, for God's sake.
See, to answer the question real quick, we already have C#, which is the plus version of C++, which is the plus version of C, and C# will already go through, and in C#'s vast knowledge, they have a huge library of already coded projects that are just available to users of C# that pay for the service, and they can pull from this giant library of everyone else's work whenever they want to. So if you need a loop to do whatever, you just go into the library, you pull that code, and it writes it up for you.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know how to say this without sounding like an a-hole, but like if you don't have the artistic ability and you just got an idea, I think those that have the artistic ability deserve the shot more than you do.
Well, that's why I said you sell the idea.
Right. Like you can sell the idea
or collaborate.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But what if that was your baby and that was something that you wanted to do by yourself? Yeah, you could learn. But again,
you're not doing it by yourself, are you? You're stealing a bunch of artwork off the internet.
Again, if you use it as a base to convey ideas, I don't think it's a bad idea. Just like using, come on, seriously. Out of all of the things that we have used as ideas, the Dark Crystal, Baldur's Gate, anything else, any other movies in the world, like we're stealing ideas to convey ideas. So yeah,
right.
There you go.
I do think we need to table the discussion for the sake of the podcast.
What's your other hot take, Jake?
That's it. That was the only one that I had.
Okay.
So that's all I needed.
Jake,
Right. That's all I needed.
I just want to say, Jake, I still love you.
That's whatever. Aaron Hughes the
Means a
second
lot
says
to him.
apparently Anthem was a good game. God, I love Anthem.
I knew you were going to pick that comment.
What's next? Avengers was a good game. We're getting carried around out here, guys.
Ooh. That's a bit deep there, Zach.
Carried away.
I read
are the servers shut down for Avengers yet? Because once the servers get shut down, all of a sudden people will care that it was great when just no one saw it. That's how these things go.
That's how it works. Yep. So I've got one more hot take, and I got to tell you guys, it was enormously difficult for me to come up with hot takes because you guys know me. I just don't like to disagree with people. I like to let them have their opinion and whatnot. So mine is, I got the one that was a hot take against more or less like Zach. And I wasn't like meaning to sound like I was picking on you, Zach. It's just one thing that I've just always felt. But my other one is not really anything that I feel like you guys are going to disagree with, but this is more just like as a whole. Let me make sure I get the wording correctly here. I think that video games from the 80s and 90s were actually good for kids, and that has changed in more recent years. I read an article recently that talked about kids that grew up playing games like Pokemon and grew up playing RPGs that had text to read and taught you that failure was okay and you just learn from your mistakes were a good thing. Like they were talking about.
When you say text to read, you mean like text that you had to read, not like a text to read.
Or like it had text, like you had to read dialogue, you had to read story beats,
engage with reading comprehension.
You know what I mean? Like I think I've used this example before, but I introduced one of my fourth graders one year to Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo Classic, and she was reading the story and like, we have to attack. We can't attack while the thing is in the shell, and she listened to that and was like, okay, I'm not going to attack now. I'm just going to defend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you had to learn like that. And I feel like games nowadays are hand holding too much.
It forced you to engage and learn rather than have it handed to you.
Right. And it cracks me up because I feel like when we were kids, we were told that, these games are rotting your brain and they're just like, beeps and boops and it's just, your brain is shutting down when no, in the 80s and 90s, it was stimulating our brains because these games were not like, if you didn't have the instruction manual, you had to like figure out how to play the game. And because we had limited resources and limited amount of options in general, you played that game until you figured it out because that was your only option. Mm-hmm. And it taught you perseverance and it taught you grit. And we've just given up on that in modern days. Now, that's not to say that there are not difficult games out there. There are difficult games.
There's a good way to explain this. If you were to take the original Super Mario Brothers, the first Goomba teaches you how to jump.
Yep, we've talked about that.
If you were to make that game in today's market and the way they make games today, after slamming your face into that Goomba 10 times, a pop-up would appear, and would you like to lower the difficulty?
Or you would slam your face in the Goomba, then people would just leave a review on Steam like this game's broke. You can't get past the first enemy.
Yeah.
Got to put yellow paint on the head of the Goomba.
Or
I don't know.
Or it would give you invincibility temporarily.
I mean, I just think of the games I played when I was a kid. Now, when I was younger, really young, and I was just playing Atari games, score grab games, whatever. Sure, I can see that as looking like it's just something silly when you're a kid. It was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Score grab games taught you pattern recognition,
right? But I mean, and that's more of a dexterity thing. That's more of like a hand-eye coordination. That was my argument when I was a kid. Is these games are teaching me hand-eye coordination, and I look back at it now, and I'm like, no, these things were teaching me logic. These things were teaching me how to learn. So now, you give a kid a game and they get stuck in 3 minutes, they're just on to something else because there's so many more choices. There's always something shinier somewhere else that's going to give you that dopamine hit, as opposed to forcing you to learn it.
Now you speak about perseverance, which is something I hadn't considered, that the failure of those games did teach you, like grit or stick-to-itness.
Yeah.
But you also picked the autosave option for Resident Evil because you didn't want to have to redo anything.
No, you're right. I'm a total hypocrite on this, and I was going to be my next point is that I go back to some I was browsing the Game Boy library on Nintendo Switch Online, and I played the first Mega Man game because I played the NES Mega Man games like crazy. I never played the Game Boy ones, which are completely different games. And I played that first one, and I did not even make it to the boss of the first stage. I died and got a game over, and had to continue or whatever. And I stopped playing. Like I feel like I've lost that grit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I've got so many other options. There's always something more, something that's going to capture my attention more. So I feel like I've almost regressed in that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I'm not trying to. I probably wasn't trying to come down on you. It's just like,
no,
playing Elden Ring and I can't figure out. Like I can tell if there's something hidden in this cave, but I don't know where it is. I might just hit that Google because I don't want to have to remember to come back later or whatever.
It's so hard not to, man. It's so hard because as you get older, time becomes a precious commodity.
Mm-hmm.
And I could beat my head against the wall and feel rewarded for doing it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to experience more game if I just find out where it is and then move on to the next thing.
Well, and not having to struggle is so easy.
Exactly.
Just get yourself out of there. Yeah.
Plus, having Google and things like that has taken away the collaboration. The playground effect where you went and compared notes with your friends about this. Now, some of it was BS, right? But I mean, that social aspect of it. Like we grew up and it's like, oh, you're just, you're going to live in your mom's basement playing video games all the time. No, we played games and we wanted to experience them with other people. We were not
with the way rent is. I wish I could live in my mom's basement.
Yeah. I mean, it's a more viable option nowadays. But anyway, that's my hot take. I think that games in the 80s and 90s were good for you. And I would argue that to anybody that comes at me about how video games are for kids. That made me a logical person, and it made me think in ways that I otherwise would not have. Like, I can't remember if I've told you this before. My stepdad used to give me so much crap about playing video games. Have I told you this? Well, he tried to teach me how to fix a car, and I had no interest in fixing cars. I was not interested in cars and anything. And I got so frustrated, and he would get upset with me, and he'd look at me and he'd say, "Pretend that you're trying to save the princess." Which was like, he used to say that to me all the time, and it made me so mad. And I'm looking at it back now, and I'm like, that is you basically admitting that game taught me how to reason through something that was difficult for me.
That's
like,
yeah, that's true.
So like he was actually like praising a video game when I was a kid without me even realizing it.
Actually, it's different because you remember the dyslexic guy we had on a couple of weeks ago?
Yes.
It was your dad trying to get you to think of it in an interesting manner.
Right.
Not that he was praising the game. He was trying to get you interested in it by using something that you were already interested in.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this because I'm almost feeling like he was trying to get away for you to engage, but also teach you a valuable life skill.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he was not doing what Russell did with the dyslexia. He was coming down on me. He was
right.
Or it was
just like I'm sure his dad came down on him for not knowing how to shoe a horse.
Right.
Sometimes skills just go away.
But that's not really coming down on you. It's just
he just didn't know how to communicate properly.
Right. He was just using something that he knew you were interested in to try to get you to get interested in this. You have to complete this task.
If you heard the tone of his voice, man, you would understand where I'm coming from. It was not
like,
all right,
look,
son, now just pretend that it was like, just pretend like it's a video game and you'll figure it out.
Scott, okay. Quick question though. Did you ever figure out how to air those tires?
It wasn't air. I think it was changing a spark plug, which is like the simplest of tasks
that
nowadays.
Is also simple, actually.
Okay.
I was trying to be a dick.
For all the parents in the room, how easy is 6 times 7 when your kid is fighting you and the 7th time you ask
42.
what's 6 times 7?
Oh,
I guess I should have picked different numbers.
I thought this was a 6-7 reference.
I did too.
I was just like, I'm waiting for
I was using 6 times 7 because it's the ultimate answer. It's 42. But as
is that a Hitchhiker's Guide?
Scott, you yes.
Yes, it was.
All right. Scott, you teach kids, but you teach them in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But as a parent, you're trying to teach your kid math. that math question comes out nice the first 4 or 5 times. Every time after that is like, what is the good answer? Like,
yeah,
like it's mad. So like a parent's frustration, comes out. So yeah, it might not have been coming down on you. He just, he's finally frustrated and he's finally taking a moment to try something different with you.
dude, it wasn't just one time. This was like that. Just
Dude,
the one.
the amount of times that I've gotten slapped about holding a flashlight.
Well, and I get where you're
it.
coming from with it, Scott. Like, because like my dad also had a very hard time trying to communicate certain things with me and would reference back to things that I like. But over time, yes, it does become irritating and grating because they keep going back to the well on like the one thing that they think that you do. And I'm like, okay, I'm more than just the sum of like video games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, it's a communication issue because unfortunately, like they see you playing video games. It's the one thing that in their brain that they can connect to you because they know you're passionate about that.
Yeah.
Whereas he may not. I'm just looking at it from the outside in. Unfortunately, because I wasn't there, I can't pass judgment.
No. I've talked to my stepdad since then, and he's told me, no, I was giving you crap about it because I hated that you played video. You were so interested in video games, and I thought it was stupid. Well, and so I did that not to be helpful. He admitted it to me, and he has since apologized and said that he wished when he saw what I started doing here with the Go, and I was actually doing something constructive and with gaming. He wished that he would have gone back and encouraged me more with this hobby instead of pushing me down on a thumb. So
now it sounds more of a societal issue.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I got one comment from the community I wanted to share. This one came from Mark Szymanski. I thought this was great.
I wanted to read this one, but
he said, full motion video games, particularly those from Digital Pictures, were groundbreaking experiences and should be considered classics. Double Switch, Corpse Killer, Night Trap, and Sewer Shark, among others, were some of my favorite games of the 90s. When they re-released them under the 32X banner, they were even better. Groundbreaking, sure. The fact that we were playing full motion video games, I don't know about classics.
You shut your mouth.
I've had some. I had fun doing the Night Trap experience with you when we did that. Man, that was
classic.
Like 6-7 years ago.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, a classic.
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I don't know. That's full motion still pictures.
Yeah,
or no, not it's still pictures.
The slideshow.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go on record and say no. Like they absolutely should be considered classics because they're still trying to replicate them to this day.
Yeah, they're still trying to make FMV. They're not doing a very.
No, they're actually still doing very good jobs on it.
Are they? I haven't played them. I've heard.
Look at Quantum Break from Remedy.
That was 8 years ago.
But Wales Interactive, a studio that entirely does FMV stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a smaller market, but yes, like.
Yeah. To be fair, I haven't played all of them, so I can't say they're all bad, obviously. But there you have it. Boy, I feel like we need a part 2 of hot takes because we
can revisit this later.
We could do another hot takes episode, like I don't know, next year sometime or something. But this was fun. Thank you to everybody that wrote in hot takes. I'm sorry we could not get to everybody's, but we're gonna. What?
Hot takes part deuce.
Part deux.
Ready.
Next week, we do have a very special guest coming. We've got an interview with Chris Dottoli, who is a voice actor, and he wanted to talk about the art of voice acting. So get those questions ready if you'd ever like to ask a voice actor a question. I'm looking forward to that conversation. He sounds like a really awesome guy. But that is going to do it for this week's The Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. The episode was produced by Kevin Honigford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website, as always, is stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. And join us live every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. CB, you got any parting words or recommendations for our listeners?
I do. I went and saw Scream 7.
I heard it was good.
It's great.
Yeah?
It feels like a return to form. If you remember the first few Screams, they were always kind of like an homage to something in the horror industry.
Yeah.
This one definitely feels like it's got a message. The return of Nev Campbell, my hall pass, beautiful as always.
Really?
Oh my God, Nev Campbell's been my hall pass since like Party of 5 Days.
Wow, I did not know that.
Oh, dude, she's
Matthew
a smoke
Fox,
show.
also on Party of 5.
Hey, you know what? Also,
Matthew Fox was on Party of 5.
Yeah, he was a male lead with
I've never watched
Scott Wolf as well.
Wow, I never watched the show, so I knew Nev Campbell was there. Really?
Yeah, every season she's there.
Wow.
Good show. But yeah, Scream 7, great. There is one glaring thing. I picked the killers almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's going to, right?
One of them when
don't give anything away, man. Come on.
No, one of them, it's glaringly obvious.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say who or when, but I'm just saying it's glaringly obvious.
All right. I will say very quickly too that I have one episode left, but the second season of Fallout is still quality stuff. It's pretty good. Although I will say I feel like they've taken the makeup for the ghoul to a lower level. I feel like it's not as detailed as it was in the first season. I don't know, but it's still a great show to watch. I'm enjoying it, and the callbacks are pretty cool. Are you caught up, CB?
I'm not. So you're basically saying it's like Mystique's.
Yeah.
Over the course of the X-Men, it's like, ooh, yeah, it's just a little less. Less.
But CB, do you know what episode you're on?
I have not watched any more of it because I fell down a different rabbit hole.
Dude, you got to, because there is one moment that as soon as I saw it, I almost texted you to be like, dude, I did text you to ask you how far you were.
You did.
There is one thing that's going to make you go, oh, that's a nice little nod. That is a pretty solid nod.
I unfortunately restarted rewatching an old TV series that I never finished.
What's that?
And felt Fringe.
Oh, I never watched that one either, but I do have one other one. I actually last night went with Jake and our producer Kevin to go see a concert. We actually saw Nothing More up in Madison at the Sylvie. If you guys have an opportunity, go see this live show. I've been a fan of Nothing More's music for a while, but that live concert is one of the most impressive things I've seen in person in a long time. What a front man that guy is. Highly entertaining. The band does just some interesting things on stage I've never seen before. It was a really good time. So Nothing More. My favorite song by them is a song called Jenny. That was like kind of their radio hit, but they don't have a bad song. They're really good. And the openers are really good. One of the opening bands is a band called Archers that was actually local to Madison. He was up on stage just saying, hey, thanks for supporting us. We used to play like at the bar right across the street when we were starting out, and now we're touring with Nothing More. That was kind of cool. And he came out and did a song with Nothing More in their final set. So it was a really good time. So check the...
I never got to officially say thank you for the drumstick.
Oh yeah.
My shadow box is going to get here tomorrow.
Nice.
The poster with the drumstick and some other Motion City stuff that I'm going to put in there.
Very cool. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you so much. The Gaming Outside. Boy, I am just tongue-tied this week. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Jacob Gunnarsson, and Chris Behrensmeyer, and we are the Gaming Outside. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.